Good day guys, today we'll revisit the last of my Dan's Dinosaurs line models, the Ankylosaurus. Now this was a really special model for me because prior to this, I had the mass-produced ones, but there was always one thing or other I wasn't happy with. I love anatomy, and I was happy to see certain key features represented here. The other thing that's really important to me is proportion. And while I don't really care about the length, for Ankylosaurus at least, the girth is really important. And whatever the scale of the dinosaurs, the proportionate width has to be correct, or it just spoils the illusion for me. At a length of 29 centimeters or 11.5 inches and an estimated adult size of 6 to 8 meters or 20 to 26 feet, this model is between 1 to 20 to 1 to 28 scale. The irony of Ankylosaurus has always been its poor remains, so reconstructions have often been filled in with other ankylosaurs, such as Euplacephalus and Anodontosaurus. But we do know from the little we have, it was in fact very atypical of the group it gave its name to. And this hadn't been captured in many models at that time, and this version from Dan gave me that. Now starting at the head, the caputegulae are correctly depicted as you see here, according to Arbour 2017. The anterior supraorbital and the posterior supraorbital caputegulae, the nasal ones, the squamosal and quadratojugal horns. Now all this rewards close scrutiny if you're a fan of detail. The unusual nostril position is also correctly depicted. Now note the relative forward positions of the nares in Euplacephalus and Nodocephalosaurus, and the relatively posterior position they occupy in Ankylosaurus, possibly an adaptation to rooting behavior. Now in terms of osteoderm arrangement, this doesn't seem to follow fully any of the more established iterations. The anterior portion appears to follow Carpenter 2004 without the cervical half rings, and with the shoulder osteoderms shaped the same. And as we proceed posteriorly, we find closer similarity to the Arbour 2017. Of course, much of it will still be speculative until we find the ankylosaurid version of Borealopelta. Now, all of them have the kind of weathered, lived-in look that suggests living bony tissue so well. Cracks, striations, keels are very lifelike. A closer inspection will also show you a mosaic of ossicles filling in between the osteoderms. And all of them vary individually, without the uniformity that hints of sculpting shortcuts. And as you'd expect, the paint job is superb. As we proceed to the terminal end, we see the very obvious stiffening of the club handle, and then the club itself. The form is composed correctly of two major and two minor osteoderms fused together into this deadly mass. Now down the sides, we again see the layered integument, creating the lifelike subcutaneous pigmentation we've already seen in the T-Rex and the Diabloceratops. There's red in the sides, and you know I'm a fan of red. With these intermingling mottles, it just looks so good. I only wish I hadn't requested this completely dark brown, but had gone with the more adventurous color palette, and I think you can see what a difference that would have made if we look here at my J. Carré repaint of the PNSO Ankylosaurus. The final point I love about this is just the absolutely fat belly. The species name Magnaventris literally means big belly, so it's always surprising how few models actually capture that. No such thing here. See how unarmored the underside is. And this idea of vulnerability is increased by the presence of these veins here. It really would be curtains if the animal were really flipped over. Although looking at the form and the low CG of this animal, doing that to an adult must be all but impossible. Now one last thing too, notice this fade on the soles. And really there are no shortcuts here, even on the surface you wouldn't see when displayed. Now that just speaks of professional pride. And then we have the base. I love environmental context, and the bases in the Dan's Dinosaurs line are really some of the best I've seen. We've seen how textured the T-Rex Monarch's base was, for example. And here we have these plants, the moss, the soil. Again, I find myself itching to touch the very grain here to fully appreciate the texture. This is just incredible work. Now I also got this little bit of pool, which is an add-on. And when you put everything together, you really do get a very complete scene. I really love these day-in-the-life scenes of an animal doing something natural. Now, happily, this model is still available the last time I checked. Many of the models in this line have been sold out, and once gone, they're gone for good. That Nasutoceratops and the Gargoylosaurus got away from me, as at that time I didn't have the funds for them. Now, as I've said before, Dan didn't ask me to do this, but I really wanted to create awareness of this wonderful line, and I don't want it to be forgotten because of the joy that it gave me. And given the situation with this pandemic, many small businesses have been hurt very badly. So if you have the means to offer some support for something this good, please think about it. Now, Martin might not always be available these days, so check with Dan and I'm sure he'll be happy to discuss details with you. And I'll put the links to this model below. Now, next time, I'll share with you the last finished model that I ever got from Dan's. Now, it's not from the Dan's Dinosaurs line, but it's nonetheless awesome as well. And I've never ever reviewed it, so that will be a first look. And I'll see you hopefully soon with that video.